We got pretty close to everything we wanted to get done.
So what's next for the Kentucky General Assembly as the 30-day session winds to a close? Vetoes aren't the only thing lawmakers will do on the final 2 days of the session. There's also still time to pass bills, even though there aren't veto-proof. Our Mackenzie Spink caught up with Senate President Robert Stivers in his hometown of Manchester to find out what we can expect as the session comes to a close next week.
Proceedings went late into the night last Friday as the General Assembly worked to send bills to the governor's desk before the 10-day veto period began. At the Republican Women's Club Lincoln Day dinner in his hometown, Senate President Robert Stivers shared his thoughts on the productivity of this year's session.
We got pretty close to everything we wanted to get done by the close of business on the 14th. Now we will go back on the 27th and 28th to see what the governor has vetoed, to see his rationale for any vetoes, and then discuss passing a few more bills and whether or not we'll override any of the governor's vetoes.
While the last 2 days of session may be used to override vetoes, the General Assembly can still pass bills. They just won't have recourse if the governor chooses to veto them. President Stivers previewed some of the bills we can expect to see passed during that time.
Well, there will be some bills that will be out there that are non-controversial. I can give you an example, like technology. County law libraries are no longer books, and so the statutes don't allow monies to be spent on computers. So things like that are just due to the changing times, that are non-controversial, that everybody will agree with. Knowing what the circumstances are and the subject matter of the bill, likelihood of them being vetoed is not very great.
Kentucky Democrats had complaints about the fast-moving process in the days leading up to the veto period, saying bills with big consequences, like the changes to Medicaid outlined in House Bills 495 and 695, shouldn't be moved through so hastily because it limits opportunities for public input. President Stivers says that the rules and expectations for legislation have been laid out for years, and the Senate followed them.
There is a national group called the NCSL that does Mason's Manual, which is basically the roadmap for all legislatures to work. And those rules have been in existence for years. And we went and we abided by the rules. In the Senate, we suspended the rules just a couple of times, but overall everything went just as well as it has, be it this year or 25 years ago. Overall, it was a very productive session. Some of my colleagues who may complain on the opposite side of the political spectrum, I think felt that they were treated pretty fairly overall, and several of their bills got out and passed our chamber. I don't know how they fared in the House. But we try to be bipartisan. We want to work together. We take input, and I think we did that in this past session.
The General Assembly will reconvene on March 27th and 28th. Then the 2025 Kentucky legislative session will be over. For Kentucky Edition, I'm Mackenzie Spink.
Thank you, Mackenzie. And of course, you can watch the gavel by gavel coverage of the General Assembly next week online and on demand at KET.org.